Hi, so I have a different reading here for us leading into the 8th, for the 8th, after the 8th of November 2016. I did a Celtic cross spread for all of us, which is a lot of cards to have in one reading for the day. So I did my best. This was really different for me, especially the presentation. You know, figuring out how to show you what I'm seeing and get through the story and not get lost in the cards. And I hope you enjoy the reading. I hope it's helpful. See what feels right for you. It's a general reading, so see which signs, symbols, bells, whistles, messages, energies resonate for you and bring you clarity to what you're wondering, concerned, confused, inquiring, dreaming, praying about. We're all children of God. We're all psychic. We're not all going through the same things. So see what feels right for you. It could be one sign, and that brings you clarity. It could be the whole reading. It could make sense later. In the end, always use your logic and intuition together to make sound decisions based in love for the highest, greatest good of everybody. So we're all uplifted in love. See how it feels for you. How you ride these energetic waves that come through here is always up to you. Is it your wave? Is it not your wave? Are you waiting for another wave? You know, preparing for that wave, crashing into the wave, riding the wave, or ignoring the wave. Also, feel free to make this an interactive video with me if you want to pull some cards for yourself. And if you have some time, try to check out the links below. See if there's more signs, more depth in the lyrics, in the videos that connect you to your own personal answers, you know, to what you're wondering, and show your love and support to the artists and musicians. All right, I love you guys. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in a moment. Hi, this is going to be a Celtic cross tweener transition-ish reading. So it's for, I guess, Tuesday the 8th, Wednesday the 9th, but it's technically the 7th. So working into the 8th, and then energies around. It's also different for me to do a Celtic cross spread for a general reading. So I'm going to work with, let me show you, this canvas here to try to show you the spread and what I'm working with, but we have to work together on this one. I'm not sure how it's going to go, so let's get started. I'm going to begin with one card from the Power Archangel Tarot for like a base energy for the day, the energy around the now for you. So let's begin and see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, our higher self, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all, for focus, clarity, and understanding the energies and how to ride these energies best for all of us. All right, let's start with one card, and I'm going to have to read a little differently for this reading because it's more like a story rather than digging deep into one card, although that might happen. So let's just start. All right, let's see what we have for the highest, greatest good of all. And that's the Four of Raphael. So the Four of Cups, being bored, or like being bored on purpose, getting lost in something that's bringing something stable. It's a 4, so it's sort of being trapped or being in a box or refusing to see something. But it could be just being content. You know, it's, it makes me think like luxury. So there's luxury and stability, but there's strength in change. Once you have the structure, you need to adapt to change and grow. So it's hearing that call, hearing that opportunity, recognizing where change needs to occur and getting out of the box a little bit. I see the dragonflies on the beach, and it makes me think of transformation. a time of transformation after something solid, or trying to build something solid. I always feel like it's another way out, or another way to fly with the dragonfly backwards. Maybe that works. You know, side to side, you know, swiveling by, going with the curves, or straight up and then over a situation. It's a different way out than you saw before. And you just have to change where your focus is. From something square, you know, this point to that point, and now this point to that point, which is good, but this asks you to look at that square with circular mentality, if that makes sense, looking at every angle around that situation. So seek out other possibilities, look for the magic in life, and be aware of your own emotions, where you're getting stuck, where you're, I hear sticking, where you were molding something together, where something was smashed in the sand, where you have to rebuild something you put time into, getting ready to build something and thinking about it, making plans, thinking about ways it can grow, that it can become solid, that it can be more than just sand that washes away, where it's something solid. So it's recognizing your emotions and where you're placing them so you can find another way out, rather than seeing it the same way you always have or are now. Raphael, so it's like water, emotions, healing. I see healing, and yeah, I see the caduceus here in your heart, or there's something protected in this situation that was healing first before change could come, or there was time needed to heal before you could move on. So that's different for all of us, whatever it takes for us to transform, to figure out how to fly and which way is best for us. That's different for each of us. So I'm going to put this here, and let's see. I have the Nicoletta Ceccoli Tarot. And I'm going to do a Celtic cross spread my way. And as I pull the card, I'll show you, and then I have to lay it down here to see the picture. So I guess I'll do that and show you the picture and work accordingly. Let's try this out. All right, so let's get a Celtic cross spread for the energies around the 8th, Tuesday, November 8th, 2016. So moving towards the 8th and from the 8th, around the 8th. The energies of all of us, and wisdom for all of us to ride these energies best. So the best general overall story we can have to work with and understand. So highest, greatest good of all, let's begin with us. You, me, all of us. Let's start with that one card for our general energy. And that's the 8 of Rods. So that's like a lot. That's like, it's like a lot of information all going out at once, and yet connected to you. So you're connected to a lot of information, or see, this is why I got to continue. I see the card and I get lost in that card, which is why I do my readings as I go with the flow. So it's a lot of information. It's pressing the button and having the information go out. And there's a connection to the information. There are lights shining. Even if you're in the dark, there's a deep connection inside of you. All right, now what's covering us, let's continue, is the Six of Rods. So here it's moving away from a situation, but having a stinger, like flying out with some power. Let's get another card. These pictures are really, really different. It's not a typical deck. So let's continue. Let me see the whole picture. I feel like your eyes are closed, but you're moving away from something, looking down. There is wisdom behind you and clarity. Something's in the fog under you, but you're rising above the situation. It makes me think of the Six of Swords in other decks. So let's get the past. The energy behind us is the Ace of Cups. So beginning to hold on to like a lot of different babies, you know, like different energies, different things that you love. You want to take care of everything. It's like, it makes me think of, you know, going to a place that has animals, and at least for me, I just want to take them all home. It's really hard for me to see that because I have so much love for every single animal that I see that doesn't have a home or not being, you know, cared for properly or doesn't have a nice place. Just want to bring them home, and that's not always doable for all of us. You know, we have to take good care, proper care of the animals we have, or the things, you know, our children, and make sure we have enough resources and we can handle that load as much as we want it. Sometimes we have to handle a large load and we're ready for it. We can handle a lot of emotions, a lot of things, but it's getting ready to handle a lot. And that's in our past where we maybe took on too much. It's usually a start that's beautiful in love. So it's being able to handle all of that. But I feel like here it's taking on a little bit too much in the past. So let's continue and see what energies are grounding us, what's rooting us down, what's giving us stability. And that's the King of Rods. So confidence, passion, security. I always think of like adventure and like going a different route, going a different way, inspiration, like just don't talk about it so much, just do it. You know, have the experience, or letting out. It's like you're lifting the curtain and I don't know, it's like it's actually like a cute little dragon and going after this little man, and it looks like it's just scaring the shit out of him. But she's very calm. The queen, it looks like a queen, but I know in this deck, this is actually the king. They're all female in this deck, so I have to interpret accordingly. So there's confidence in what you have, in what you have to reveal, in what you have that I feel like it's like a spiritual push, a wise push. When I see a dragon and the fire, it's like a push for passion, a push for freedom, protection, strength, something. I think of wisdom. You know, I think of a dragon like having wisdom. So, and then something ancient, maybe something ancient wisdom coming out, being pulled the curtain, and now there's fear because this guy is kind of scared here. So there's fear of this fire, but there's confidence being built. That's security here because of the fear. So it's not being scared of what came, and that one just jumped. And that was the 9 of clubs. So that's what's, well, I was talking about fear. So I'm actually going to layer this and do it a little different and put this as an energy above the Knight or the King of Rods here. And look at this. There's like, you know, this chameleon, this big scary thing that was here the whole time, just hiding on the wall. Again, right on the wall we're getting. While you were paying attention to something else, looking at the details, reading something, getting lost in something, gaining knowledge on something, and maybe this is strength right behind you and not something to be scared of. Maybe this strength, this is something that was building up confidence, building up, I feel like it's getting bigger, but it's on your side. I feel like it's helping you. It's telling you something. It's telling you which book to read, what chapter to read. But you also have to be aware of what this is and what you're reading, what you're gaining knowledge on, where the strength is coming from to make sure it is wise and it's not something that's gonna like bite you in the ass later. I feel like it's having discernment with what is good for you, what's there to be helpful, and what is just like maybe like I'm seeing just like I hear misspellings on the wall. So what was just misspellings or just not really truth was just put up there by someone for something and it wasn't really anything. It was just I don't know, there's something blending in and like camouflaged here. But I feel like this guy is helpful. The Nine of Rods is usually like coming to the end of something that you're standing up for and being at the end of like a battle, you know, putting a lot of energy into something and feeling overwhelmed and just getting at the end. Maybe this is like the build-up point in that book where she's reading, where she's just so into the book that that book is like coming alive right behind her on the wall. But she's not paying attention to what's coming alive because she's so entranced in this. But it's also getting to that peak and then getting past it and then breaking into reality again. Maybe she looks up from the book and this is all gone. It wasn't there at all. It was just a shadow on the wall, you know? Maybe she sees this, she looks over and there's nothing. So, getting like shadows on the wall, you know, monster out of a mountain out of a molehill, or monster out of a molehill, maybe. I'm going to layer this on the King of Rods. So maybe the King of Rods is learning to get past that peak of things that he was scared of, she was scared of, to reach the ending of something, to come out of being immersed in something. I feel like you're victorious. I feel like you come back, you're snapped out of something for some reason. So maybe you took on a lot in the past, but this in the past, something you loved, but you know, it was a lot on your plate. And it brought you a lot of strength. It brought you a lot of wisdom. But I feel like there was something released here. Your passions were released. The dragon was released. You were scared of something that you wanted in the past. Or something, you know, fear from something you wanted made you strive towards something else. You know, to conquer a fear, you got more wisdom about something. You learned about it. You, I feel like it's adventures, but within your mind with like expanding your mind, if that makes sense. So let's see what's on top of us. See, now I don't have the, let me show you what I have here. I don't have the complete spread down because I tend to get lost when I see a card. It brings me towards explaining, or I get, you know, the pictures, images, and so let's just go with this. I guess this is how I'm going to do it for a live reading for the Celtic Cross. I like you to see the card as I pull it. So, and once I see the card, it's like, it's off. It's sort of like this first one. Once I see that card, we're off, you know? And hopefully at the end of this reading, all these little connections will make sense for us. Because I still need to have more clarity with this guy. All right, so let's see what's on top of us. The energy that's connecting us. I feel like it's always connecting us to our higher selves here. What we're rising above, what we're reaching towards. Like, I feel like it snaps the connection from whatever was grounding us before so that it brings clarity to our consciousness. That's how I see the position above the I am, at least. Let's get one card. Energy above us. And that's, well, there we go. I was talking about the Six of Swords. So that's the Six of Swords. So that's actually sometimes travel, riding towards a different place, going someplace different, having clarity about something you went through, understanding your navigation system now and what you went through and the, you know, the rough terrain and the storms and everything and how to go around them, get out of them, what to leave behind, what's worth putting in your boat, what's worth just, you know, leaving it there, what you have to clean up. And it's just like move along, move along. You've learned to move along with something here. So that's above us, moving along with the way we're thinking, not getting wrapped up in what's, you know, sinking here, or just was washed away in a flood, or like, you know, a storm came. It's finding your boat, finding your paddle or your stick or whatever you need, getting some rest if you have to, going somewhere different if you have to, taking yourself out of a situation and finding clarity in your actual understanding of what you went through and how that's bringing you out. It's gaining clarity on what you went through. You know, it's not just always physically going there. I feel like it's also sometimes like when you're on a road trip or driving or traveling and you have that time, that space to think about something and process something that happened, and sometimes you get aha moments, or you put the dots together yourself, you know, or you get answers where in your normal life, or when you were you had too much on your plate before, or when you were immersed in something else, or scared of something else, or involved with too much information here that you wouldn't see something clearly, and now you get it and you're moving away from something. So let's see what we're moving towards. That will be the next card. And that's the Knight of Pentacles. So you're moving towards doing something the right way this time, to actually having deep roots, and I want to say fancy seeds. Like, her roots are deep, but she bends. You know, when the winds come, this tiny little dainty dandelion can bend and move with the wind and adapt to a situation. And usually this card for me and this deck is very unusual, just so you guys know. This is usually a grounded energy for me, like the Clydesdale, something heavy and secure, like the knight that gets off of his horse and prays and makes a list and rests and sleeps and plans and, you know, puts her hands in the earth and gets grounded and does it realistically and real and does it, you know, from the beginning. If there's a mess up, they don't get lost in it. They just learn how to fix it and keep moving. If there's a step back, they learn what they have to do. You know, they get the knowledge they need or the tools and move along. So there's always a deep root. There's deep, you know, something grounded that you can work up towards. But I feel like you're going high. You're going somewhere free because there's butterflies and it's light and it's like she's dancing in her tutu. You know, when I see this, you know, the dandelion, it kind of makes me think of this one. And like, I think of all this information going out and transforming something from one small rooted position, you know, where you can adapt and move and change and still affect everything else around you. Maybe transformation around us without losing our stability, without losing where we are rooted, where we feel grounded, where we feel like actually dancing, and how we're transforming. Also, I keep getting the pace at which we're transforming is different for all of us. So it's bending with those changes. You know, there might be somebody transforming, but they're still a little bit close to the ground because they feel like, you know, this is a little too high right now and they're going to take it slow. So it's your own pace. There's no right or wrong with growth. It just happens as it should. It comes out as it should. These seeds, these ideas, these chances, these things go out, this energetic frequency, this force, these little, like, I feel like they're little nuggets of seeds, which are just you. They're part of you. And they go out there and then they expand and they grow somewhere else and they allow change somewhere else. I'm like coming from you, but also being their own, you know, their own seed of change. So we're moving towards change, but this is slow, steady. flexible change with this. Also could be an earth energy. I didn't even mention the sign. So, grounding energy under us, or where we're coming from, is that fiery energy. So it's Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, but it's that fiery, passionate energy and confidence in us. And the earthy energy is where we're moving. We're using that confidence and grounding it in to get it going, to do it right, rather than having it flame up and be fleeting. So it's lasting. So we're going to get one card now for, I look at the next card as how you see yourself in the situation going on around you. So like looking out through the driver's seat window, like how it's looking for you this way, projecting out. So let's start with one card for all of us for projecting out, and that's the Ten of Swords. So you feel like everybody's taking a slice out of you right now, and you're ready for something solid. Maybe you took on too much, and now it feels like you're a little overwhelmed. But this is like, thank goodness it's over, too. It's a tweener. So right now you're ready for that transition. You're ready for, you know, things to come back into balance. It's ending something and beginning something. So maybe you're slicing out what, you know, you're stopping where people were taking advantage of you, or they were taking a part of you that you didn't see it coming, or you did and you allowed it and you shouldn't have. I feel like there's worry here. There was worry, but not on behalf of you. I feel like the worry's around you. You look pretty calm, even though, you know, there's a part of you you're letting out. You're pretty calm in this situation. Like, you understand that you can just, I don't know, like that's what had to happen. Like, you had to let something go. That's what the cake is for. But I feel like there's help coming. Like, you wanted to help. There's help. Like, all these little tools are like running towards you. So let's get clarity on what the environment around you is, or how your environment is looking in at your situation. And that's the Five of Swords. So defeat. Like, nobody's winning at anything here. You know, yeah, it's like having the upper hand, but at what cost? You know, what are you chopping up? You know, are you planning for something? It's like somebody's not defense, has no defense at all. It's like she's just ready to chop this little turnip. Maybe something turned up here, and you're ready to just chop it away, or somebody else just chopped up something that turned up and didn't think about it first. All right, let's get more clarity. These are also a little bit longer readings when I do the Celtic cross with like a lot of cards. So let's get clarity on our hopes and our fears, which is the next position. And that's the King of Cups. So learning to ride your emotions, your hopes and your fears. It's this dragon again. There's this dragon theme, but this dragon is like a fiery land dragon. And this dragon is of the sea. It's like the hidden dragon, the hidden beast. They're both hidden. But I feel like this one's bringing you wisdom and stability, whereas this one is something that you have to learn to, I want to say, ride alongside with. You know, this guy's like thinking he's going to get burned, but this guy's coming towards the dragon. And I feel like she's like pulling something back too. Like, you're pulling something back. You're pulling back those emotions, pulling back those things that you were fearful of before, you were afraid of releasing before, maybe thinking twice on releasing those emotions before the beast comes out, or the beast came out in the past and now you want to withdraw something, like pull something back. But it's learning about that. It's like the ocean, the move, you know, like the ebb and the flow and the rise and the fall. It is facing these fears of the unknown and what's dark and hidden in there that you don't understand. It's really deep. It might look shallow on the surface, but it's not. And this is 2 kings that came up, by the way, even though they're feminine cards. So there's balance here on what you give and what you receive, but there's a lot more giving. There's a lot more gained, I want to say. Maybe, I feel like this guy is like reaching out, like calling out to the dragon, calling out, learning to speak its language, something like that. I feel like there's something here you're observing. And you're a part of it, you're working with it, but it's also going on around you. You know, I feel like this little guy came on his boat and has his own free will to try to talk to her, the dragon, or work with these energies. And free will, holding back, maybe you don't hold back. Something, let's get one more card. That's your hopes and your fears. Maybe it's tackling those deep emotions. Those things you didn't want to face before and learning how to speak to them rather than like communicate with your emotions, communicate with somebody else's emotions. Maybe that somebody else gets emotional, like, you know, too emotional. This could also be like the emotional manipulator. You know, if you're pushing and pulling the ocean and this king is upside down, he's pushing and pulling emotions, trying to pull the tides of this situation, her situation, and trying to jumble, like trying to have control over what's going on here, and, you know, putting a big force in there where maybe if he or she just allowed it to be alone, then this could be worked out. So it could be somebody trying to play with the emotions of people, or us, or you, or the situation, your situation, to try to control it because they don't know how to control it any other way that rather than manipulating, which is kind of messed up, but that's another way to look at this card. So, maybe you're facing somebody that was trying to manipulate a situation, you know, and that's your fear and what you need to face. It's also your hopes. You know, it clears everything up. It brings communication, brings things to the surface. Now you're not scared of it. You know what it's like to dive deep and to stand up for yourself, what you feel is right, what your love is. You know, this could be standing up for love. This could be like a situation where they're in love or they have something going on. This one's trying to manipulate that situation for some reason. Where if the waters were just calm, which looks like where it's moving towards, by the way. So maybe this was the past. You're afraid the past is going to come back and emotions will upheaval things. So just don't try to manipulate that situation. Allow everything to be. So there's equal communication, you know. You understand what's at the surface of things and what's underneath, and don't be fearful of it. Use wisdom in that situation and have confidence in that situation. Be grounded. And I would say do it right from the beginning and be flexible here. Adapt, transform. You know, don't cut someone's head off immediately if they say something you don't like before you understand where they're coming from. Maybe somebody feels powerless here. You know, somebody just wants to be right and, you know, somebody fell down, or, you know, you need to put somebody else above that situation and put the sword down, put the knife down, see the truth a different way and see the power that you have to fall on that situation to change that situation. But this is learning what's not worth fighting in the end. It's just like, you're right, I'm right. It's like, I feel like there's always just, it's better to agree to disagree and come even and, you know, go somewhere and have some dinner, or just walk different ways or change that situation rather than, you know, allow it to take advantage of you. So maybe it wasn't an emotional situation where you felt taken advantage of. Someone used your emotions and took, you know, something pulled on your heartstrings and that got you to decide something or do something or feel a certain way because, you know, affected something in you that you were sensitive towards. So this is allowing yourself to end whatever that was and move towards something that's not that hard to go through. So let's see what the final outcome is in this reading. And that's the Empress. So in the end, you're learning to work with the seasons. You're studying something else here, you know, taking time to learn what is worth birthing, what's worth watching, what's worth putting your energy into and being there to take notes, to watch it grow, to nurture it, to see it change. Not just you, but what you're looking at, what you're looking into, what you're doing, what you're putting your energy into, where your energy is looking is also important as where it's coming from and what you're doing about it. All coming together. The Empress is like Mother Nature. It's like the big mama in the deck, the mother, the one that like helps. I want to say like helps. Maybe this little like dragonfly had a broken wing before, you know, and she just was waiting for it to heal or investigating what was going on to see what it needed to give some nutrients to help it along its way. You know, there's something gentle in this being watched, being nurtured. All these weird little bugs all around her. I feel like everything is interesting to the Empress. Everything is like she's curious about, you know, and interested in and puts creative energy into to help it, to share it. I want to say to share it. She learns something and then she helps others by giving that information out, by having it be free, by learning something and putting her energy into something beautiful, but then giving it away, birthing it to the world, putting something out there so somebody else can take that energy and move along or ride with it or do something else where it's just a birthing everywhere. So that was a lot of cards. Let me go to the Fairy Tarot. Now, where did we start? It was the Four of, I don't know, it's right here. The Four of Raphael. So opening up the box and looking at opportunities to create, to use, I feel like a focus of something that you had before, but you have to focus on starting something with, like one thing. You know, you have one thing you're focused on. Even though you have energy connecting you to a lot of other things, it's an energetic focus on a point that starts the change, that births something new. So I feel like that starts with something that maybe you have gained confidence on recently, changed your mind about recently, or found some wisdom on, or just moved away from and gained clarity from, you know, what you went through recently. And now you're focusing on something new. So I'm still looking at this Six of Wands card. It's really different in this. It looks like a mosquito to me. And then in the back there's like a castle on the back of an elephant. It looks like the elephant has a saddle on that's a castle, and it's just stuck on this hill by itself, and it's like you're going to get help. I feel like you're going, like this little mosquito came and the elephant couldn't get on, but you're big enough to get on the mosquito here, and you're going away. You know, you're leaving something here behind that you have to leave to find balance, to get help, to come back around, you know, with the way that elephant can get off or that wisdom to come out. You're going to look for like a solution somewhere else, I feel. But I feel like you've got to come back, or there's a balance or decision here. So let's get one more card from the Fairy Tarot, and then I'll do a Winged Enchantment Oracle card, and then we'll sum up this tweener reading. All right, and that's the Magician. So that's a new start. That's making magic with your surroundings, manifesting what you want, what you love, paying attention to the sparkles around you. You know, it's around you where this blossoming is occurring. It's not back there. It's starting with where you are. And it's a new beginning. It's a one. You can do anything. Take charge of your life. You can manifest what you need to be a success. It's not always having all the tools in front of you necessarily that you can see, but when you think about what you need, you're aware of that tool, and when it's in front of you, you recognize that it's there, that sign, that symbol, or it points you the way so you find it when you need it. So it's not always like everything's right there for you, but it's understanding what it is to bring a solution to that problem at that point that you're at, and then looking up from what you were building so you see it when it's there, not walking by. You know, it's focusing on what's around you, being aware of your surroundings, being aware that you have the tools inside of you. You have that connection inside of you. You have that ability to start something new inside of you. It takes walking to do it, to have it happen. So let's go to the Winged Enchantment. Oracle cards. These are all birds. They're all birds. So I'm going to read from the book because it's new. I have a lot of new decks I've been using lately, so I sort of like that they allow me a little freedom, you know, with the picture and the symbols. So let's get one more card to sum up this reading, leading towards the 8th of November, 2016, into the 8th and from the 8th. And that's the crane. This just came up for the 7th. So it's being still, being patient, allowing yourself to feel the ripples, you know, to feel the signal, to feel that sign for you when it's right, and then move. Be still, be patient. It's active patience, active waiting, you know, and then knowing what you need to do to move, how you need to change, that change inside of you, that decision inside of you when it comes. I feel like with this, it might not be the way you think. It's trusting that vibe, that energy burst when you get it, that energy trickle. It might be small. So let's go to 6. It's also a 6, you know, so finding balance, love, decisions. Crane, I am crane. The moment of true awareness, I am lasting peace. I am still water. I am unparalleled focus. I can stand alone longer than anyone, waiting for destiny to unfold at my feet. I never miss a ripple in the water, nor do I dwell on those that have already passed. You must also learn to allow your future to find you in the perfect moment. Be at peace now. Be silent. Your mind is too busy. Your focus too shifty. Your spirit like a restless dream. Gather your visions and retreat, giving them time to restore. Allow the chaos around you to be what it needs to be without pulling you into its vortex. I implore you to be still. Find your highest mountain. Climb your tallest plateau. Wait for the ripple to come to you and then make your move. You are active awareness. You are present in the moment. You are mindful. You are crane. So, you know, maybe just allow that ripple to come through, you know, wait for your wave to move you along, you know, trust yourself in the moment of silence. Be aware of everything around you. I feel like you're hyper aware, but recognize those opportunities. Be aware of those opportunities, you know, to have solutions, to do something new, to make some magic, to change. I feel like you're changing your energies around and creating something where you're not being pulled, you know, by others or by other circumstances or things that you couldn't control before. I feel like you're putting something into the pie that's making you feel whole today, around today. So it's sort of just lifting our head and paying attention to what's going on all around us. I hope this is helpful for you guys. I love you, and I'll see you soon.